Drew Polk shot from a gun. That cat's just riding on another level.
Oh, you guys got poked again. Back to the line we go.
17-20. This one's going to be a barn burner downtown. Polk got it on lock right now on the Forster.
Man, I called this one at the beginning of the weekend. And Polk gonna bring it home.
So with this goal of getting national #1 amateur, I knew I had to win all the big races throughout the year, and I knew that would be just as important as Grands would be because of how points work in the US. For USA BMX, they take your top 8 finishes from the National Series, and the way that's calculated is they take whatever place you get a certain amount of points, and then they add that by the amount of riders that were in that race. So I knew I had to go to the races with a lot of riders there, and off the top of my mind, I thought Rock Hill was going to be the biggest one because in 2021 there were a lot of riders there. It was the biggest race of the season, so I knew I had to win that one, and then I also figured the 2 Vegas Nationals would be pretty big too. To recap my top 8 finishes, we started off with Vegas. It was the first national of the year, and day number 1 I came out swinging, grabbed the win. It had 43 riders.
Main 101, 17, 17-20 expert, Cole, Knight, Wing, Anderson, Polk, Santa, Beaudry, and Crane. Here we go, the Nag 1 bike, Drew Polk out front. Polk moving right along. Looks like Amakai, the Mean Green Machine, Anderson in that 2 spot. It's gonna be Polk, Anderson. Anderson trying to find a under, couldn't get there. It's gonna be Polk, Anderson.
And then that same weekend, on day number 3, I grabbed another win, which also had 43 riders.
Santa, Cole, Anderson, and Polk. And here we go, down towards turn number 1 they go. And looks like, oh, getting sideways though. That is Drew Polk out front. Polk leading him into turn number 2. Good. Polk out in front. He'll get an easy win. Back at us they come.
So that was an amazing start to the season, and I couldn't have been much happier with it. Next up in my top 8 finishes was actually the biggest national of the year, which was Rock Hill. The first day we had 65 riders, and I was putting a lot of pressure on myself. I knew if I wanted the title, this is one I had to win.
Polk, Callum, Anderson, Henry, Alessandro, Cardwell, Merlot, Clark. Taking, somebody had problems right there. Henry blows the gasket. Alessandro! Out of turn number 1. Oh no, that's Polk on the top spot. He's bringing it back through. Merlot on 2. Alessandro coming in hot. He's looking for that 3. They hit on the 3rd turn. Down that 3rd straightaway, keeping Jeff, bringing it back around. Oh, bringing this one in now that last turn. Polk picking up a big win on a Saturday night. And this is a huge win for these guys coming back in. Polk back to the line, rocking hell.
And I ended up getting the win, and you could just tell by my reaction that it was a huge weight off my shoulders, and I was super pumped with it.
Let's go! Yes!
So following day 1, we had day 2, which had 61 riders, so another really big score, and another one I knew I needed to win, so this was a pretty stressful weekend.
Gonna be a hot lap. Henry, Hobby, Callum, Harrison, Polk, Pereira, Lozano, and Cardwell. Oh, you guys got Polk, man. Bringing it down the 2nd straightaway. On the top spot right now. Bringing this one back through Alessandro for the 2 spot. LSG boys gonna get it done 1-2, coming back at us. Now the Aussie, Callum trying to find a way into that last turn. Henry trying to hold on to that 3 spot, but Callum gonna swing it on the inside. Polk gonna bring these guys back home down the last straightaway. Polk, Elizondo back to the strike.
So overall, this was one of the best weekends of my year, and I grabbed a lot of points, and it set me up really good for points. So following Rock Hill, we had Utah, which I didn't expect to be that big of a national, but we ended up having 39 riders on day 1, which was actually my birthday, so that's kind of funny. And it was raining, and it was wet, and it was just really bad conditions, but it was a super fun race.
See who's got the pop on the drop with this one downtown. Weston Merlot from the outside, gonna try to get it going on. Now the
birthday boy. Polk gonna get it going down the first turn, down the second straightaway. Cuddy Williams. Merlot's on the move right now. He wants to try to find the top of the pole. Merlot, Cuddy down that third straightaway, but it's all Polk on the top spot. He says happy birthday to me. As he coming, Elizondo, we lost him coming out of that last turn.
Following Utah, we had Louisville, which I expect to be pretty big, but I didn't expect it to be as big as it was. And on day 2, we had 61 riders.
O'Brien, Polk, Cardwell, Williams, Elizondo, Bleak, Polk, 3 rides. Here we go, downtown, rock and roll. Brody Cole gonna take him into the first turn. Oh, you got Polk. Oh, drop the 2 off right there. We'll get those guys checked out. Polk getting it done. Polk, Cole, 1-2, dropping in that second turn. Bring it back around. PJ O'Brien on the 3 spot, coming back to me. Oh, Polk's gonna chalk up another big win today with a huge moto cam as we come on back at us. Back to the line. Polk.
And I ended up getting the win, so that's another really good score. And then following that one on day 3, we had 57 riders.
Coming back on the 4 for Rip Engine Crew. 1720X, Polk, Williams, Henry, Merlot, Trujillo, Tree Rise, Cole, and Schaefer. Brody Cole gonna take him downtown, 110% nutrition ride on the turn and burn. Polk sitting in that 2 spot. Cole, Polk, 1 and 2. Here comes the cut. Gotta be Williams on that 3 spot. Oh man, Cole, Polk. Here goes Merlot, man on the move right now. Cole, Polk gets up and under. He takes this one over. Coming back at me, Polk, Cole, Merlot.
And I got the win on that one as well. And that was a come from behind win. It was pretty entertaining, but got the win and another really good weekend for points. Then my final score in my top 8 finishes was Oldsmar. We had 45 riders.
Down to it, Banyan House for the 2, Zimmerman for the 3. Boy, oh boy, here we go, 17-20. Got to be a barn burner on this one. Santa Polk, O'Brien, Marsh, Cole, Popovich, Williams. Schaefer down the second straightaway. The 110% nutrition boys trying to slide into that 2 spot. 7 bike getting things busy going down that third straightaway. Cole trying to stick a wheel in and out of the last turn, but Polk's got full command of the boys right now as he's coming back through. Polk locking it down on the top spot. Back down that last straightaway, looking for the 2, back to the line. Oh, baby, coming back through.
And I got the win on that one. So overall, it's been an amazing season up until this point, and I'm currently sitting national #1 with a 60-point gap to 2nd place. So we have 1 national left to finish off the year, and that's Bakersfield. The last national of the year was Bakersfield, California, and I was actually born and raised in California, so I was hoping to go back to my home state and finish off the national series on a high note and go into Grand Prep happy. So in the practices leading up to the race, I felt pretty good on the track. It was technical, I liked it. The only issue was the gate. It was a little slow, and that's one of my biggest weaknesses. I like fast gates, so I knew that was gonna be my weakness throughout the weekend, and I was gonna have to really focus on that. But day #1 came around, and we actually had 51 riders, which I really didn't expect it to be that big. I thought it was going to be a smaller national, but 51 riders would get me some more points if I could win the weekend. So my goal for the weekend was obviously to win both days, and day #1 was going well. I was riding fantastic, and going into the final, I had lane 1, so I was really hopeful, and it put me in a good spot. But coming out of the gate, I wheelied just a little bit, and that dropped me back a couple positions.
1720X been the full stack of the day. 51 riders down to the final 8. Marsh, Callum, Joyce, Bellador, Polk, Merlot, Elizondo. Oh, Cuddy Williams gonna fire it up.
So coming out of the first turn, I was sitting 3rd.
Off right now. A little shout out Rick Williams. I know he's tuned in on a Saturday night, coming down the 2nd.
And I saw a huge opening going to the 2nd turn, so I took it.
Straight away, Cuddy on the top spot. Oh! He got Polk!
And I put myself into 1st place, which was awesome, but coming out of the 2nd turn, I didn't have as much speed as the riders behind me.
Oh man! Caleb coming down the 3rd straightaway.
I came together with one of the riders on the 3rd straight, and we locked elbows, and I really couldn't do anything at that point, and we both went off the track. So that was a bummer. I had the chance to increase my score, but obviously that didn't happen. But I just had to shake it off and ride better the next day. So day 2 came around, it was Sunday, and I was racing U23 and 17-20 Expert. So we started off the day with U23. I rode amazing. I was putting down my best laps of the weekend, so it was looking really good. I got a 3rd place in U23, so that's a solid finish.
Right there, coming back at us, down the last straightaway. Adams back to the line. Tugas, Polk, Merlot.
So in 17 to 20 expert on day 2, we had 49 riders, so again, a really good score if I could get the win. And I started off the day with a crash in my first round, so obviously that's not ideal. I hurt my knee a little bit, so I had to get that all taped up, but I was still riding fine after that. And heading into the final, I knew it was gonna be a tough one, getting all the way over to the inside, but again, I wheelied out of the gate, huge mistake.
Anderson, Soto, Crane, Callum, Polk, Marsh, Williams, Bryant. Who's got the horsepower? Ozzy, Ozzy, Ozzy! The boys getting it done right now. Here we go, down the second straightaway. 2:30 bike. Anderson gonna get the 3, Polk will get the 4.
And just rode the rest of the lap and ended up 4th. So Bakersfield clearly was not the weekend I was hoping for. I didn't get any wins and it didn't help my score at all. So it was a rough weekend and I clearly have some work to do before Grands if I want that cup. So Grands prep has officially started. Let's hope this weekend can give me a bit of extra motivation for training and we can go into Grands strong. After Bakersfield, I drove to Arizona with Cam Wood, where I would stay for 2 weeks at his house and ride and train with him for Grands prep. And while my Bakersfield didn't go that great, his was phenomenal. He swept the whole weekend in Elite Men, so he won Friday and Saturday in Elite Men for USA BMX.
Jake Gale with the Elite Men right now. Wood's got a pretty good shot, dropping one off along the way to get one going on downtown. Oh, Wood's gonna close the door up on everybody down that last straightaway, looking for that 2 spot. Gate slapping down, here we go, Elite main event. Oh, McLean having some troubles right off the gate. As we head down in, turn number 1, gonna bring this one back around. Continue, that's a whole shot of Wood for Wood. But it's all Wood, God, 1-2, back to the stripe, Larson for the 3.
And then he won the UCI race on Sunday in Elite Men.
Bring it back in that last turn. Oh, McLean trying to drive it onto the podium right there. When we come back around, it's all Wood on the top spot down the last straightaway. Wood, Camden.
So Cam was definitely coming into Grands prep on a high note, and it'd be good for me to ride with someone that fast and to get away from the bad weather in Indiana, where I can ride in Arizona.
First Grands prep sesh done. First day out, Grands prep. Day 1, Grands prep, walking out, and gotta get ready when you stay ready.
Riders, ready, watch the gate. Watch the gate.
Come on. There you go. Come on. Go. Come on.
Sprint's done.
All right.
Riders ready, watch the gate. Watch the gate.
Cam hit really hard and he ended up having to go to the hospital. He said his vision and his hearing was a bit off, so that was a really rough one. I wasn't sure what the rest of my time in Arizona would look like, and he thought he was going to be out for Grands. So at this point I thought it was just going to be me for the rest of the Grands prep, and I could stay in Arizona and at least have some good weather, but I'd be on my own.
Watch the gate.
Dude, you love your fans.
I do.
Ready, watch the gate. Sorry.
And 17, 20-year-old expert in the draft is going to be one rescue stand. Here now the final turn is on
Sunday I used as a rest day, and I came up with a plan. I was leaving the following Sunday, so we had a week left in Arizona, and I was going to ride every single day until I left. So I had a plan in place, and I was going to execute it. Tuesday I went to Chandler BMX. It was my first time there, and I knew I wanted to ride there a few times while I was in Arizona because it has the same exact gate that they're going to have at Grands, as well as dirt turns and a short first straight like they're going to have at Grands. So the thing that makes the gate unique is each lane has their own individual gate, so a lot of people aren't used to it going into Grands, and it's super fast and it's almost impossible to hit. So I definitely wanted to ride on it as much as I could before Grands so I'd feel super comfortable at Grands. And then dirt turns are just something that I haven't ridden a lot of this year besides the indoor tracks, so definitely wanted to get on some of those as well while I was in Arizona.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Arizona on Sunday, so I started off the day with some sprints before I had to fly out in the afternoon. So that was the end of my Arizona Grands prep, and we're going back to Indiana to make some fine tunes and finish off Grands prep. Alright, so I spent 2 weeks at Cam Wood's house, got some good training in. It sucks that he had a bad crash, couldn't do a lot with me, but we're back here, we're at home. So my fastest ever time for these is a 3.06. That was kind of an off one. I'd say my fastest like real time that I've done more than once is a 3.09. Currently it looks like I'm around a 3.16. So the goal before Grands is just going to be to get the times as low as I can. The gate's very similar to this one, so just get super used to this. Try to get my times back down to where they were and be primed for Grands. So today's a good testing day. Hopefully we just get faster and faster and we can basically be at a PR right before Grands. So we're gonna finish off these sprints and gates, and that'll be it for the day. Today's Monday. It's first day back from Cam's house, so hope you enjoy the journey. I feel horrible. That's disappointing. Confidence definitely hitting a low. I was doing gates and I started and my times were just horrible. They've never really been so far off before. So I had a lot of negative thoughts going through my head. Things like that the training hasn't been working, that I'm not going to do good at Grands, I'm not going to get the cup, and just all these super negative thoughts. So I stopped after only 11 gates and I was really down on myself, and it was at this point where I decided I was going to start journaling. I've never journaled before, but I knew the only person that could stop me at Grands was myself, and having negative thoughts go through my head could just completely ruin my whole year. So I wanted to let out all my emotions into a journal so that I would never have to think about them again, and I could go to Grands fresh and with positive thoughts. So I had done 9 training days in a row, so I decided it was time for a rest day. So I used Wednesday as a rest day and a day to go out and get my journal and get everything prepared. So from Wednesday until Grands, I was going to journal all my thoughts, and I was going to rank certain things in my life every day so that I could put them down on a piece of paper, and if it wasn't good, I could move on from them, and if it was good, I could look at that and see why it was good. So that was going to be a big part of my Grands prep until Grands. Alright, so here we are. Today is November 10th. It is Thursday. I took a rest day yesterday because my times were just way off on Tuesday. I had trained for the past 9 days, so I think it was needed. So we're back here. Hopefully we have a good session. Feeling pretty good today, so let's see how times go. Yeah, one step closer to getting to Grands. I think that's my PR since Worlds actually, so feeling good today. This is great. Here it is, 3.107. My goal before Grands was 3.09, so super happy with that. And that's it for Thursday. I'll see you guys next time. One of the biggest reasons why I went to Arizona for 2 weeks to train before Grands was because the weather in Indiana gets pretty bad around this time of season. So it's super hard to train when it's cold, windy, snowy, rainy, all these really bad things for weather. So I knew that was going to be something I would battle when I came back to Indiana for training. And that is exactly what began to happen. It was really cold and windy on Friday. So I decided not to do gates at my house because it was super windy and that would throw off my times and put me into that bad mental state, and it would also not be good for my gate form. So I decided to go to a parking garage. Even though I wouldn't have times, it would be good to get some gates and kind of clear my mind. So I did gates there instead of at home. So Saturday I plan on having a big track session at Columbus BMX, but again I was just battling the weather and it snowed, so that was obviously out of the question. But Sunday the snow cleared up a bit and I was able to ride at Columbus BMX, and I actually brought my gate and set it up on the hill so it'd be super similar to Grand's, and there was a right hand first turn and the first straight was pretty similar, so it was a really good session and super good to get back on a track for the first time since Arizona. Tuesday, I plan on doing gates. I saw there was snow on the radar and I got here and I was just about to go out to do gates and it started raining. So no gates today, but we're gonna do some rollers. It's night. Day's basically over, but just gonna finish off with some training. Why I'm wearing a helmet, absolutely no idea. I'm literally not moving. The past few days had been really good training sessions, so I decided to take a rest day on Wednesday. I was warming up, and my chain snapped. Man, this Grand's prep is going so amazing. There it is. So I'm gonna go put a new chain on. All right, new chain is on. Let's get back to it. And now, I don't know if you can see it, there's a fire. The neighbor started a fire, so probably gonna be inhaling smoke the whole time, so that's perfect. My times were actually really good and I was feeling super confident, and I was in the 3.12 to 3.16 range. So I was about 300ths off from where I wanted to be before Grands. So I was definitely getting closer and training was going a lot better than it had been. Friday, I started with gates and it was insanely cold on this day, so my times were not good. So I decided mid-session to just stop and put my gate away because I knew if I kept getting bad times that my confidence would drop. So I put my gate away and I went in and did rollers, and that was it for that day. After this, I decided to take Saturday and Sunday off because I had looked at the weekend before Grands in 2021 and I took the entire weekend off and I rode really good at Grands. So I decided I would do the same and get back and do some gates on Monday before Grands and then leave on Tuesday. So Monday came around and it was my last day of training before we left for Grands, and I still had not hit my 3.09 yet, so I was super eager to get some good times on this day. But there was a headwind the entire day, so I knew my times would not be good. So we decided I would just take Monday as another rest day, bring my gate to Grands, and do gates on Tuesday, and then practice on Wednesday. But as the sun was going down, I realized the wind had stopped, so I set up my gate and everything super fast and just got straight out to doing gates.
Let's go!
Here it is. 3.098. So stoked on that. That's my best time I've gotten since Worlds. That ties my PR. And that's what I was hoping to get before Grands, and I almost gave up halfway through this, but I don't even know how many gates I did. I'll put that on the screen. But man, I pushed through it. I got it, and my times were so good the whole session, so happy about that. I have literally chills going through my body. So yeah, that's it. Grands prep is officially over and we're off to Grands tomorrow. I'll see you guys in the morning.
We are here with the infamous Drew Polk. We're here at the 2022 Grams. Got to be doing fantastic.
Yeah.
You haven't been on the track yet, have you?
I have not.
What, from the looks of it, what do you think?
I think it looks pretty good. I know a lot of people are talking about how the first straight's really short, first 3 straights, but I think it'll be pretty good. No pro set, so, well, there's a pro section, but it's not a pro set. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where it all pans out with the 2 different straights, see which one's faster.
Right. Yeah, we even put an extra turn in, you know, so you can get your swoop on this weekend.
Oh man. Hopefully it doesn't come down to that, but you always got it.
You're currently sitting on the top of the points heap, and more than likely, you're going to have the biggest class of the Grands.
Yeah.
Which basically puts you in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I mean, it all comes down to me, really. There's no planning anybody else's race, so just got to focus on myself, do what I need to do, and that's really all you can do.
With your guys' class coming in, I'm going to say your guys are going to probably come in at least 100 riders?
Yeah.
Minimum?
Yeah, I think we had over 100 last year.
So, you know, and at 100 riders, that puts it at about almost a 20-30 moto run
deep, yeah.
of just that class right there.
Yep.
So that, you know.
Yeah, it's going to be a long weekend. I'm racing like 5 different classes basically, so I'll have opening class for ROC, NAC 5, and then opening class for Grand. So lots of races, lots of time to figure the track out, so hopefully we'll have it dialed by Sunday.
Hey man,
so
sounds like this kid is got it dialed in and he's ready to go.
He's got a plan.
We do have a plan.
All right.
In practice, I felt absolutely amazing. The gate was exactly what I thought it was going to feel like. It was super similar to the gate I had been using at home, so I was super happy with that, and that made me really thankful for the Grand Prep I did at home. And then the turns felt super good. They were really bowled out, and it kind of surprised me, but I was happy with that. And then the first 3 straights were pretty short, so I knew that I needed to get out front, and this would be a track that would really suit the riders that could get out front. So I'm glad I did a lot of gates because that would be really important for this weekend. And a lot of people were actually complaining about this track, which I actually like because I really like the track, and if other people didn't like the track, that means I just had that mental edge on them knowing that I really liked it. So that was also a pretty good confidence boost.
They run that monitor around here. Looking to take home rock one plate. He's going to do it as he leads the way in the last turn. Back at it come. That's going to be Drew Polk in there for the win. Mag
9. Race of Champions, right?
Yes, sir.
You are?
I am. 2-time.
2-time now,
Yes, sir.
back to back.
Yeah, and open and class back to back.
And now we're
now we're looking forward to tonight, or are we looking forward into this weekend? Because we want to have Nat 1, Nag 1, what are we thinking?
I mean, the overall goal is Nat 1, obviously. Sitting number 1 for that, so hopefully we can keep it.
Nag 5 again?
Nag 5, hopefully. I like the Nag 5 challenge. It's pretty relaxed, and yeah, I'm just gonna go out there, do my best, and we'll see what happens.
If I can ask, who are you intimidated? Maybe give you a challenge. How about that?
I mean, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of foreigners here, so a lot of them, and obviously the top Nag guys, they're all fast. So yeah, I mean, the only battle is with myself. If I ride my best, I know it'll all work out. So just got to put down good laps.
And we can see all that on Drew Polk on YouTube?
Yes, sir.
All righty. Hey, great luck. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Great job tonight.
After ROC on Friday, we started the Pro Spectacular, which goes on Friday night, and that's where the pros race for their titles, but we also get to race the Nag 5 Challenge, which is where if you are sitting top 5 Nag, going into Grands, you get to race it. So that is an event I love racing. I won it last year, so that was my goal for this year as well.
On your 51 bike, out of Avon, Indiana for Factory LSG, Drew Polk.
Wham! Gates down right now. Drew Polk getting out in a hurry into turn number. Whoa, Ronnie M stuck in the pack right now, working on that low line. It is Polk out in front.
Back to the line, it's going to be Polk, Caleb 1-2.
Riders ready, watch the gate. Bam, Gates down, here we go. Down the front straightaway. Cedric, the Entertainer Cade, but here comes Drew Polk.
Man, I hope these guys got some nitrous in the bottle right now because nobody's catching Polk out front. Got to be the working man, Race Lee on that 2 spot. And out of that last turn, taking it back around the Entertainer, Cedric Cade moving on with the program. And on your 51 bike, out of Avon, Indiana for Factory LSG, Drew Polk.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate. Here we go, gate is down right now. Cedric trying to get over, and he'll close the door. But guess who's on the inside? It's Polk. We got company coming into turn number 2 right now. Cedric Cade is gone right now, trying to check out Eric.
Bringing this one back down the 4 straightaway. Aussie! Caleb, he's down, Polk's out.
Going to the last turn, I saw the top 2 riders come together, and from my point of view, it looked like they were going to shoot up the turn, and I was going to be able to go under them. So I aimed for that, and the rider in second place went down, and I ended up hitting him. So that went from a podium to a 7th place. So that one stung a bit. I did 11 laps total on Friday, and I won 10 out of 11, so it kind of sucks that I only lost 1, and that was one of the biggest ones, but you can't really focus on that because the whole reason we came to Grands is for the final day, which is Sunday, and that's the most important race. So I just had to regroup, clear my mind, and get ready for Grands. During the night show, I got to watch Cam Wood win Grands in Elite Men, and it's just so amazing to see that happen because nobody got to see his crash. It was kept on the low and nobody really knew about it, so everyone just thought Cam had a healthy Grands prep and he was going into it 100%, but really he only had a couple weeks of training going into it and he was hurt really bad. So seeing him bounce back from where he was after the crash and get the win was just super cool, and I was super happy for him. So that was one positive that happened for the night, and we were moving on to Grands. Grands was going amazing. I won all my laps up until the class semi, and even in the class semi I got second. I played it safe and got into the main event, so I made both my finals in 17-20 open and 17-20 expert. In my open main I got second, which doesn't seem bad. A second place should be good, but I was really expecting to win that, and that was my last lap before my class main, so it wasn't great for my confidence. It was hard knowing that I got beat by someone and I had won all my laps leading up to it, but it wasn't the end of the world because the one that really mattered was my class main. But after I headed back to the pit, I checked out the gates for the class main, and I felt like I was almost in the worst position I could have been in. I was in gate 6, surrounded by 2 of the fastest riders with another fast rider in 8, so I knew I was in a really tough position, and I was really weak mentally, which was kind of a surprise because I'd been doing so good all weekend and I was super confident the entire weekend. So for it to all to start coming down right before the one that mattered was kind of rough. But I talked to some people that I needed to talk to. So I talked to my coach and I talked to Cam Wood actually, who was back at home, and they kind of cleared up my mind a bit and told me I just need to focus on myself. So I listened to what they had to say, and I really just tried to focus on myself and not worry about the title or worry about who I was racing. So it cleared my mind a little bit, but I still had that little bit of doubt going into it. But again, I just tried to focus on myself the best I could. So I started warming up for my main, and I felt amazing. My sprints were going really good, and I went inside to watch some of my teammates, and one that I wanted to watch in particular was Colton Kidd. He races 12 expert, and he was actually up for the NAG 1 title in 12 expert, so I knew this was a huge race for him and probably the biggest race he's had in his entire life up until this point, so I knew I had to watch it. And he had asked me before I started warming up, if he was sitting second, where should he try to make a pass at? And I told him his best bet's probably going to be the last turn.
Wagner leading him around right now. He's got the 13 bike sitting in the 2 slot. Colton Kidd.
Flat pedals, boys and girls. Oh! Back through the Kid. Comes up with the top spot right there.
And I just remember throwing my bike down and running to the line and giving him a huge hug. And he was crying, and it was just so amazing to see that happen to him. I met him last December when he joined our team and we trained a bit together, and Colton has become like a little brother to me. I love him so much, and it's just so cool to see something this good happen to him, and I'm super proud of him. But he made it happen, and I knew he would because nobody works as hard as he does at that age. But he came up to me after everything kind of settled down, and he looked at me with these tears in his eyes, and he told me, "It's your turn." And that really hit me. Like, it flipped a switch in my mind, and like, I know I was doubting myself, and it just showed me that there's people that love and support me and believe in me, and I should believe in myself as much as they do. So I kept warming up until I felt good, and I went up for my main.
In the gate, we have one rider with a podium, and only a podium, will be your national #1 amateur, and that rider is Drew Polk.
Our guys, here we go! Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Please help me welcome to the stage your new 2022 national #1 amateur for USA BMX, Drew Polk. Doing it for LSG, Donovan Long's team, Stacey out of Indianapolis. Hold this up, Drew. Your 2022 national #1 amateur, Drew Polk.
And there it is. I finished the job. I accomplished my biggest goal of the year, and one that I set in December of 2021. It's just crazy, like all the bad things that have happened this year, like they don't even matter anymore. All the crashes I've had, all the negative thoughts, even in Grands Prep when I had those negative thoughts and I started journaling, none of them matter because I did what I needed to do, and all the hard work I put in, it all paid off, and I accomplished my biggest goal of the year, and one that I set back in December of 2021. So I couldn't be any happier. Even though I got third, it's what I had to do, and I got the job done, and I got the national #1 amateur title. It's just crazy because there's so many things that I think played a huge role in the success that I got, like going to Cam's house and riding in Arizona with good weather and addressing all my negative thoughts and journaling and doing all that and getting my mind clear and doing so many gates on my Pro Start portable gate, which is very similar to the gate they had at Grands. And then I think especially that last session I had in Grands Prep really helped me because I learned something huge, which was to go straight out of the gate instead of pull back for that style of gate. And I focused on that the entire time at Grands, and it seemed to work really well. Right after Bakersfield, I decided I was going to film every single training session of my Grands Prep, and if I won the title, I was going to make this documentary and showcase all of that, so I didn't share any footage of Grands Prep, and it all relied on whether I got the title or not. So if I didn't win the title, this wouldn't even be a thing, but I'm super happy that I was able to get the job done and share this all with you. But that's it for 2022. I will see you all in 2023.
Yo, what are you guys doing? Let's go in the bloopers. Oh my God, I thought you were falling.